Everybody say hello to Jacqueline. She is my first character in Lord of the Rings Online. I have had her since closed beta. She is about 17 years old. Wow, she's actually about the same age as William. Okay. So I am not normally into casting classes. I prefer melee, especially melee DPS. For whatever reason, I love Lore Master. So let's jump right in, see how we spec. So there are 3 different trait trees. Blue is basically pet based, red is DPS, and yellow is crowd control. So let's start with yellow. And I'll freely admit, I don't know a whole lot about yellow line. I don't tend to group, so I don't do a lot of crowd control. I've been yellow line once or twice and have sucked because I never do it. Alright, here we go. We start off with Fire Lore, Frost Lore, and Storm Lore. Fire Lore is melee debuff. Excuse me. Frost Lore is tactical or spell-based debuff. And Storm Lore is a damage spell with a short stun on it. Alright. Since debuff is our bread and butter, I'm just going to dump 5 points each into these. So now that it's plus 5% tactical damage debuff for Frost Lore and plus 5 melee percent damage, plus 5% melee damage debuff. Wow, words are hard. With Fire Lore, I may or may not come back in with Storm Lore. Actually, yeah, I'm going to come in with Storm Lore because there are a fair number of lightning skills. So drop 3 points in that. And now we have a 15% plus 15% lightning type damage in Storm Lore itself, and the attack does a decent amount of damage with a debuff on it, and, or excuse me, a stun on it, but it has a 2-minute cooldown. Lore Master can also be a very, very off healer. We only have 1 or 2 healing spells, and they're not exceptionally strong. That's why we're an off healer. And Power of Knowledge, plus 15% power healing and damage from Power of Knowledge. That's a good one to have. And then I'll just throw some more. Actually, let's drop down here. So playing with fire adds to the Fire Lore. Excuse me. Plus 15% attack duration, plus 10% mischance, and lightning damage done is minus 50% range damage. Just 1 point, get you in. Same with out in the cold, it's a Frost Lore. Excuse me, Storm Lore. No, Frost Lore, I was right. Frost Lore power up, kind of the same thing. And then it brings it down into Wildfire. Using Wind Lore on an enemy afflicted by Fire Lore will spread the flames to nearby foes. Using Wind Lore on an enemy afflicted by Frost Lore will spread the cold to nearby foes. And you come down here, right there. This is Wind Lore, and it's basically a incoming damage, buff for the mobs that it's on. So if you use that, it'll spread the effects, and it's a 5-second cooldown. Doesn't really do any damage, but it's good for spreading things around. Alright, since we're an off healer, I'm going to come and drop in some points here. So get up to, 5 points here. and that gives us plus 5% water lore incoming healing buff mod, and plus 25% outgoing healing. And we come down here to level-headed, takes the power cost away of all, or it won't say it takes it away, it lessens the power cost. And with the latest update, they've revamped power so that it's more integral. Used to be you could just flail away and cast away and never have to worry. Well, I haven't played much since the latest update. I've heard that, excuse me, my allergies are going crazy. I've heard that power is taken into much more consideration. So, yeah, we'll drop some into there. 5 points. Power of knowledge. One of the things a lore master is a power battery. Power of knowledge lets us give our power to other people who need it. And if you're going to be the power battery, then you're going to need this. And as usual, I just fill up the tree. Ancient craft, armor debuff potency. Then we have disable. We do a fair amount of stunning. We're one of the 2 classes, I believe, Lore Master and Burglar, who do stuns, so that's a good thing. Again, excuse me. Pleasant Breeze, it's a heal. If we're going to be the off healer, why not? Quick Hands makes powers cast faster, or skills induct faster, I guess. Firm Grasp makes the stuns last a little longer. Again, words are hard. And then our ultimates in the classes. Ancient Master, Fire Lore and Frost Lore skills cost no power and can target up to 6 enemies. Yay! And Enfeeble, Sign of Power. The debuff strength of the following skills are increased for the first 10 seconds of their cast. Sign of Power, See All Ends, and Sign of Power Command. Alright, and then, since we're not huge damage dealers in, oh goodness, excuse me, in crowd control, I might skip over the direct damage stuff and go into things to help my pet protect me. Now, I gotta be honest, this might be a bad choice because, like I said, I've only ever grouped a couple of times as Yellow Line. So, just gonna give my pet some extra morale, lessen its damage. They're not really going to be a damage dealer, it's going to be more of a tankety tank. Come down here. Inner Flame lets me heal my pet, so I guess I'll put 2 points into go for the threat. No critical damage, just go, oops, sorry, into there, bring us down to prepared materials, minus 5% all skill inductions, which is good if we're going to be crowd control and mana battery and debuff. Come over here to prepare for war. Tactical mastery rating. Yeah, we do a lot of debuffs and we'll do some damage tactical, so that might be a good spot to have a couple of points. This one being Catmint, not really one I would use in Yellow Line. Or a damage buff for the pet, or Hearty Diet gives him more morale. I would go that way. And that's how I would stat out my Yellow Line. Let's apply that baby. And then come look at the traits I have slotted for it. Again, as I am crowd control, mana battery, power battery, and debuffs, I have everything defensive um, resistance rating, physical mitigation, some extra vitality, armor value, physical mitts, tactical mitts. You know, it's all the same. Critical defense, mitts and mitts. Morale. Yep. Resistance rating. It's all there. Okay, let's come into Redline, which is another one I don't play huge amounts because I solo, and when I solo I tend to go blue line. But we'll do some Redline. Man, excuse me, my allergies are horrible. So like I said, I usually just fill in the tree. Your mileage may vary. If you do it differently, please let me know in the comments. So we'll start with Master of Fire, and this is a lot of it is fire based. So anything that adds fire damage or damage to fire, yeah. And then tactical damage is all spell based. I won't say all spell based, but mostly spell based. So that's what we're doing damage with. Burning Earth, Cracked Earth damage. Cracked Earth is in this spell right here. It's a damage, and it's got a little root on it. Keeps them from moving. So it's one I'll use more for keeping things away rather than damage. So where'd I go? It's also a decent one to have. Knowledge of Storms. Boy, I don't remember if we have a lot of storm spells. So I'll come back on this one. Ancient Fire. Gust of Wind to tear up Burning Embers. Burning Embers is your bread and butter skill. It's this one right here. It's got a 3-second cooldown. It puts a DOT on them. It does a fair amount of damage. This is one I am casting every time it's on cooldown. So anything that powers up Burning Embers, good in my book. Alright, 8 good. Okay. My brain turned off. Okay. Sword and Storm, I like this one just for the effect. When you strike with your sword and staff combo, sometimes you'll get some lightning effects. That's really cool. And it's a buff. This is a power-up buff on Sword and Storm. What do we got here? Lightning Storm. Oh, this is a good one. Sadly, it has a very long cooldown, but it's a great skill. 3 attacks of lightning. Just looks cool. So we'll go there. And if I'm going there, then yeah, I need to come back and do this. Then we come over here. Slow Burn. Burning Ember Pulses for the DOT. Yeah, you bet. And then this one, excuse me, 10% chance or up to 30% chance to apply 2 stacks of Burning Embers at once. Oh yeah. Then we have Rapid Fire, cast things faster. Yep. And I know some of you are out there going, why doesn't he pick and choose? I do pick and choose. I choose everything. Alright. So, Fierce Lightning, it's an upgrade for Lightning Storm. We're going there. Adds it up to 100% chance for lightning skills to ignite targets. Lightning and flame. How can you go wrong? Mighty Wind, up to a 70% chance for Gust of Wind to spread Burning Embers. Yeah, we're going to go that way. And then Ring of Fire. An attack leaving a flaming circle upon the ground that enemies dare to enter. So if they're outside and they come in, they're going to take some damage and they get debuffed massively. So why not? Nature's Fury. Whirls frost damage around the enemy with a chance to deal lightning damage over time. So apply up to almost 300,000 damage. Yeah, great stuff. Very power heavy, but great stuff. And then Fire Shield. Your fire skills have a 25% chance to raise a protective shield around you boosting your defenses and reflecting fire damage at the attackers. Yeah, baby. Then for this one, I'm going to come back over into yellow line. Excuse me. Actually no. I'm going to come over into blue line again so my pets can tank a little bit for me. Come back down here so I can heal my pets a little bit. Back up to here, same thing. Come down here to tactical mastery and physical tactic. 2 there, 3 there, and then 6 there. Or I should say 5. All right, and that's how I would spec out a red line. Again, if you have a different way of doing it, please let me know. I am always looking for different ways to try things. We'll come back to that in a moment. And again, this one's different. As it's a direct damage, I have everything combat based. Critical rating, finesse rating, evade rating, critical and finesse help with damage. Finesse helps get through defenses. With honesty, tactical mastery rating makes my spells hit a little harder. Some extra will and some extra crit rating. Valor, physical mastery rating, not so important as I only really have 1 physical attack. But the finesse and critical are nice. Wisdom, some more will, tactical mastery and finesse rating. And then wit, finesse rating, crit rating, physical mastery, and tactical mastery. So that's my red line virtue loadout. And now let's go to the one that I know the best, although with the recent updates I don't know it quite as well. The blue line. I live in blue line. I am not the best player, so I tend to let my pets do most of the work for me. So again, this is one I just go straight down the tree. Pet morale and incoming damage, you bet. The pet attack duration and pet damage, yep, they hit faster and harder. The critical chance and damage, you bet. Then over here for the inner flame so I can heal them. Can also heal them with my, what's it called? The Light of Hope and the water, not share the power, water lower. This is the one. Those are my main heals. This is the one that transfers the power. Oh, excuse me again. Wow. Come over here for prepare for war, more tactical rating and pet physical and tactical. Then over here, faster casts. We've done this one already. Maximum morale and pet morale. The plus 12, 597 max morale is for me. The plus 5% pet morale is for the pet. And I believe the physical and tactical mitts are for both of us, but I'm not certain. Alright. Coming over here, 10% damage buff. If your pet is hit with a critical attack, I gain damage bonus up to 20% damage. Cat mint. This is one that I kind of puzzled over for a while. So depending upon what pet you have out, it does different things. A bear, which is your main tank, increased armor and damage. Raven, increased benediction of the Raven fire mitigation debuff and damage. Ravens they basically are there to make your fire spells hit harder. Cats, both Sabertooth and Lynx, if I remember what they are. Attack duration and damage. Eagles, Beak Rend morale tap damage. Spirit, which is your basically your healer and buffer. Nature's Gift morale restoration and Nature's Light morale return. Bog Guardian, which is what I run with 99% of the time. Bursting Root, stun chance, and damage. So, yep. Then we have Loyalty. Upon receiving a critical hit, your pet will sacrifice 2% of its morale to heal 2% of your max morale. You cannot gain this effect more than once every 15 seconds, up to 10% morale exchanged. I don't go into combat often, so if I'm crit hit, it's usually by ranged attacks. After battle treat. On enemy defeat, your pet heals 2% of its maximum morale and gains an outgoing damage buff, up to 7.5%. Yep. Then, enemies who interrupt my inductions pay dearly for their rudeness. I absorb and reflect a percentage of all damage done whilst inducting. I like that they used whilst. 7% damage returned and absorbed, and up to 13 at level 3. I know I'm going fast, but I'm excited about Blue Line. Synchronized movement, all skill inductions up to minus 9%, and pet attack durations minus 9%. Then we come down here to a Murder of Crows. Summon a Murder of Crows to tear apart your enemy, damaging and disorienting them for a time. 76,000 Valerian damage every 1 second for 15 seconds. Wow. Plus 20% mischance on the mob, plus 10% incoming damage. And then, wow. Wonderful. Love it. Then, Feral. Gain a unique buff based upon which pet you have summoned. Bear, plus 5 max morale, plus 5% mitts. Bird, plus 50% gust of wind. Damage, plus 5% critical chance. Felines, plus 10 induction speed. Duration, plus 5% fire damage over time. Spirit, plus 15% incoming healing, plus 15% outgoing healing. Bog Guardian, plus 10% tactical damage, and plus 2 second stun duration. Yeah, baby. Then, I always come back into Redline because when I do cast, it's fire-based, increases fire-based. It's a fair amount of fire-based, and again, I just keep chain casting improved burning embers. So, fire type damage plus percents, tactical damage, because every spell I do is tactical pretty much. Cracked Earth is one that I use fairly often if I'm surrounded or the pet is surrounded. Don't use a whole lot of lightning, so I'll come back to that one possibly. No, I won't. I'm going to come here for Sword and Storm because I have to have Sword and Storm. Love it, love it. So I'll come down here to Lightning Storm, and I love that one as well. I'll get the Fend Them Off. No, I'm not. I'm going to come back up here so Knowledge of Storm hits harder. Alright. So, that's how I would spec out my Lore Master for Blue Line. Again, let me know if you do something different. Would love to see and hear about it. Apply. Yep. Then we come over here. Oh, and I know I forgot to go over the side things here. I'll just do a quick mouse over so you can pause if you want and look at it. Actually, I talk fast. I'll just read through them. Inner Flame, skill buff. Skill buffs your damage further and now increases your pet damage and mitigation temporarily. Peerless Wisdom, I have a greater chance of reflecting damage when using Wisdom of Counsel, extra 10%. Raven's Protection now offers a tactical mitigation buff to me and my fellows. Critical Coordination. When your pet scores a critical hit, your next skill is a guaranteed to crit as well. Fellowship Friend. When your pet scores a critical hit, a unique buff will be bestowed from your pet under your fellowship. For a bear, it's -5 incoming melee damage for 12 seconds. Birds, it's -7.5 incoming tactical damage for 12 seconds. Cats, it's +5% melee damage for 12 seconds. And Bog Guardian, +5% range damage and +5% range critical chance for 12 seconds. Then we have Bolstered Bond. Companions have the following bonuses: +10% morale, +10% power, +5% attack speed, +15% outgoing damage, +5% crit, +1 block, +1 parry, +1 evade, +1 stealth, +1 stealth detection, immune to knockback. I know I'm going fast because I just realized how long this video is going. And Tutelage of the Brown Wizard. Your pets are dramatically strengthened through the lore of Radagast and Zoraskavel rabbits. +20% morale, +20% damage, power, +5% crit, all mitts, resistances, +2% block, parry, and evade. All pets gain those things. Alright, so, and again, just quickly, the trait line, or the virtue line, again, this is all combat based because this is where I go to level. Alright, I'm going to cut it here and I'm going to have a second video about how they work damage and how the pets work. Thank you for sticking with me this long. As always, I appreciate you being here and supporting me. Please leave comments and be well.